Hey, I have this nice little pretty thing right here. I was messing around with it earlier today, last period actually, and I've taught this many times, but I've never really had a great, I don't know what you call it. No, I had an understanding of it, but a way to show it visually. All right, I just had to kind of describe. I tried to draw it on the board and stuff, and I've tried actually using an overhead with like toothpicks and doing different things like that. But with this program lends itself pretty well to what we're going to try to do today. So I have 3 lines. They're all equal. I just put the 2 white lines right here just to show you that they start and stop at the same spot. Would you agree? So they're all the same. I made them different colors, but what I want to do, and this is what that guy, what was that guy's name? Kyle? Is it Kyle or Tyler? Tyler. Why do I always say Kyle? I always think it's Kyle. Tyler Tarver. It'd be easier if it was Kyle Tarver, wouldn't it? It's Tyle Tarver. Too many T's. All right. Anyway, but did I say what did I say? Did I say it wrong again? Did I say Tyle?
You said Tyler.
Tyler Tarver. It's too hard to say. Anyway, it's not his fault though. He didn't name himself, I guess. Anyway, but he talked about this, and you guys were saying, "Oh yeah, I get it, I get it." So it shouldn't take that much, okay? But there are some people that need to see it a little bit better than what he explained it. He explained it, put his arms up here, remember that? And he did this, and he said if it was this, and picture the distance between my elbow and all that kind of thing. But hopefully, I'll show you maybe in a little bit better way. So what I'm going to do is take, actually, let me copy this because I might want to put it, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this red one. Now, would you agree that they're all the same size right now? Okay, well, I'm going to change the size here pretty soon. All right. Actually, let's do this. Wait till I start drawing some other stuff before you. Watch this. What if I do this? I'll put that there, and I'll put this about right there. Okay. What I want to do is I want to take these 3 lengths, and I want to see if I can make a triangle out of these 3 lengths. I think a lot of people are under the impression that, oh, I could take any 3 sides and make a triangle out of it. But can I take any 3 lengths at all and always make a triangle out of it? No, you can't. Okay, there's certain length, there's certain criteria, all right, that has to happen in order to make a triangle out of it. Okay, and so that's what we're going to try to discover right here. Okay, we'll discover it on our own. I could just sit here and show you the little, show you how to do the problems. Look, I'm telling you, doing these problems is super easy. It's one of the easiest things we've done all year, is actually finding the answers to these problems, okay? But it's the understanding is what I want you to get, okay? It's not just how to get the right answer, okay? There's more to it than just getting the right answer. And hopefully, by the time you finish this class, I hope you have a better appreciation for that. Who knows if you do or not. So watch what we're going to do. I'm going to take this line right here, and I'm going to take this one here, I'm going to take this one over here. And I'm going to try to make a triangle out of it. So let's see if I can make a triangle. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'll just do this, and I'll put it about right there, as long as it's on the end. Okay? And let's do this. Let's put this, let me just tilt it first before I put it on there. And then we can tilt it some more once I got it on there, okay? Now, did that right there make a triangle? No, it didn't. Okay, but watch what I can do. I can take this, and maybe I can rearrange these a little bit so it makes a triangle. Would you agree? All right, now does that make a triangle right there? No. Do what? Yeah, move the yellow one. Okay, let's move the yellow one. I gotta keep on doing this. And then, yeah, I still got to go a little bit more, don't I? So I got to mess around with it a little bit, don't I, to be able to do this. And that's pretty close right there, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, move the yellow down. I always have to do this. To anchor it at this point, I always got to touch that first before I do that. And then, well, maybe, let's see, what did I just do? Let's try this one more time. Okay. Okay, push that, and then now take that, and there we go. That's pretty good. So there you go. I made a triangle out of those 3. Wasn't that nice? Okay, exciting. So yeah, I could do that. I want to think what else. No, that's good enough. Okay, so look at my triangle. That's what it looks like right there. Now, what if I change the lengths of these? Actually, let's do this. Get rid of all this. I copied it. Let's start this over again. All right. But what I'm going to do... Oh, you know what I should have done? Let's do this. Let's go back. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just Control Z, right? There we go. Back to where this.
I wish I could do that on my phone.
Watch this. Look at the blue one and look at the yellow one. If I took the blue one and let me click on it and I moved it right here, tell me something about the length of the yellow one and the blue one combined compared to the red one. It's bigger, isn't it? Okay. So I took the two. Now look, these are my two smaller sides, weren't they? The red one's the largest one, this is the middle one, and the blue one is the smallest one. If I take the two smaller ones, right, and then I add them together, so I put it right there, it's longer than the biggest side, right? So the combination, the sum of the two smaller sides has to be larger than that largest side. Make sense? What if, what if these did not add up to be as big as the red one? Then you can't have a triangle. Okay, but let's show you why. Let's see, we'll make this real tiny like that. Now, and then watch, we'll take this one, put it right here. Now that blue one and that yellow one don't make up that whole red one, do they? Alright, so let's see if we can make a triangle and what's going to happen, why we can't make a triangle out of that. Because some people do get confused on, well, why can't you make a triangle, you know? Well, this kind of visually shows you why you can't. Again, let me just put it right here. And then let's take this one and let's just tilt it a little bit, and then I'll just move one of these, okay, and put it right there. Alright, we'll just keep the blue one right there where it is. But watch this. So now, can we make a triangle out of these three lengths? Well, let's take this and tilt it. Look. Oh, it's not going to hit, is it? Well, what if I move that blue one down? Will that help? No, it's not going to help. Why not?
It's just going to make a straight line.
Yeah, because look, I can make this. Now, what's the longest I can make the blue one and the yellow one if they go straight across? Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right, and they're still not going to reach, are they? Does that make sense?
But it wouldn't be a triangle.
And it wouldn't be a triangle. That's right. So look, that yellow one and that blue one, they got that big gap in there. There's no way. I can take this and twist it up here. I can take this one and twist it up here. It doesn't matter how I twist them. I'll never be able to make a triangle out of those three sides, will I? Does that make sense? Okay. So that's kind of interesting. So we just say you can't make a triangle out of those three lengths. Okay. What if the lengths were exactly the same? What if, let's go back up here. We'll put this here. We'll put this here. And we'll put this right here. Okay. What if these lengths were, no, I don't think that's...
You could just do control.
Yeah, well, I just Control V again, right? Let's get rid of those. Control V. Yep, that's why I did it, right? Okay, they're all the same length. What if we did this? What if this, I'll tell you what, just to make sure that yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay.
Why don't you just copy and paste the yellow line and then change the color?
That's what I was going to do. Good idea. So, oops, let's do this. So we paste it and make this one, what do we make it? Blue, right? Alright, if I can grab it. Come on. There it is. Okay, now watch this. That's pretty close. Might not be exactly, but that's pretty close. Okay, now let's pretend they're the same length, okay? And that's pretty close, okay? I think, yeah, it's a little bit higher. Looks like a little skinnier. Still 2 points. I don't know why it looks a little skinnier, but you've got these two right here, and they're the same exact length as the red one, right? So can I have a triangle if they're the same exact length? If these two are the same length? No, because look. That's right, because look, if I do this, guys, hey. No. Look, if I do this, right, it makes a straight line, because as soon as I start tilting this thing, they're going to separate, aren't they? You see that? And they'll never touch. I mean, the closest they'll get to touching is if they lie on that straight line. They will touch if they lie on the straight line, but is that a triangle? No, it's not a triangle, because that would be a 0-degree angle, wouldn't it?
What if you like barely tilt it?
If you barely tilt it, it would be fine. Well, no, if they're equal to each other, they won't. Now, on here, it may look like they still are touching, but in reality they're really not, okay? All right, because this is as exact as this is, it's not really exact. Okay, yeah, you could zoom in and see it, like, well, I would have to really get, yeah, see, I gotta make sure that this is actually right on there, don't I? Okay, and then we'll make sure that this one is right on there. I know. Is that better? Okay. Alright, so let's try it. We got some time. This won't take too long. So, oopsie daisy. Wrong way. I gotta push that right there so that anchors here. Did I click it? Boom. Yeah, then it turns into an arrow. Then I can do that. So watch. So it just barely is above there, okay? Right, it's probably not even a degree. And then I gotta click that. Now, see, I didn't have these. See, it looks like they touch, but in reality they're not because I wasn't exact. These two line segments probably weren't exactly equal anyway to this, but you get the idea. All right, it looks like it touches, but remember, lines don't have any width anyway, do they? They don't have any depth. They don't have any width. So right here, I actually have thickness. These lines actually have thickness. If they didn't have any thickness, you wouldn't be able to see them. Would you agree? So these are representative of line segments, but it's not really a line segment itself. See, that's not hitting exactly where it's supposed to. And I mean, I could just sit here all day and do this, but we don't have enough time to do all that. Then maybe that's a little bit closer, right? See, and that's off just a little bit. Maybe if I move that just that way a little bit. And then we took this and we tilted it. You know. Now again, it looks like it touches, but it really shouldn't. Again, because remember I kind of guessed that these were equal to each other. They weren't dead on equal to each other. So I could have made errors everywhere. But remember, if they were the same length, just think about it. If they were the exact same length, in order to make up that red, they would touch exactly right here. As soon as I start tilting this one up and start tilting this one up, they start separating, don't they? Right? Because they come like this. Everybody watching here? They come like this. As soon as I tilt one up, boom. Right? It doesn't touch. Make sense? Even just the smallest, they're not going to touch. So there's no way I can get that. So what's the idea behind this whole thing? The idea behind this whole entire thing is that what has to be true about the two smaller sides? Yeah. So if I have sides 3, 4, and 5, can I have a triangle? Can I have a triangle with the lengths of 3, 4, and 5? What's my test? I take the two smaller ones, and what has to be true about the two smaller ones? It has to be bigger. It's got to be larger than the third side. Okay? So look, here's my two smaller sides right here. Okay, if I add them up, that's, I'll just say this, that's greater than the third side. That has to be true in order to be a triangle. Write this down somewhere in your notes. In order to be a triangle, if you add the two smaller ones up, it has to be larger than the third side. Okay, is this true? Yeah, absolutely. So is this a triangle? Yes, it is a triangle. All right? We okay with that? So yes, it's a triangle.
So it's in order for it to be a triangle, the two smaller sides have to be
Two smaller ones have to be large. The sum, okay, the sum, no, can't be equal. We just got done talking about that. If they're equal to each other, they can't form a triangle because as soon as you start tilting one up, they're going to separate and you can't have a triangle. So they can't be equal. It has to be greater than. It has to be larger than this. The two smaller ones have to be larger than the third side. Okay? And that is true. What if you had this? What if you had 3, 7, and 14? Can you have a triangle with sides 3, 7, and 14? No, you can't. Why not? Because watch, 3 plus 7, it has to be greater than 14, but is it? I'll put a question mark right there. No, it's not. It's not greater than 14. 10 is not greater than 14, so that is what? It's not a triangle. All right, so you just say it's not a triangle. That's all there is to it. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Almost. Not quite. Let's do another type problem they give you. Um, where are those problems? They don't. Oh, here it is. But they don't give you an example.
Maybe we don't need to show it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know if I can just think of it off the top of my head. Oh, okay, here's one that's kind of like that. Okay, let's say you had this. Let's say you had a triangle, but you only knew two sides of the triangle. Okay, so let's say you had 3 and you had 7. All right. What are your possibilities? What is your range of possibilities? Okay. What is the range of possible uh, sides for your third side? Okay. So what does it have to be? It's got to be. It's got to be less than what? Less than 4? No, not less than 4 because like 2 is less than 4, right? 2 plus 3 is not bigger than 7. So it's got to be less than what?
Oh, we're trying to find the first one. Less than 10.
Less than 10, right? It's got to be less than 10. Because if I had, watch, if I had this was 3 and this was 7, okay, watch. If this was 3 and this was 7, in order to have a triangle, okay, your third side, because 3 plus 7 is 10, right? 10 has to be bigger than the third side, right? So can this be greater than 10? Let me say. Let me hold on. Hold on. I'm getting mixed up. I know. I know. Just let me think. Okay. This means just wait a minute. I got to think myself. Okay. And make sure I get this right. So if you have one side is 3 and one side is 7, it's going to be the third side has to be less than. Yeah, it's 10, isn't it? What's my explanation though? 3. So watch. Let's think of this. I said it has to be less than 10. Well, let's pick something that's not less than 10. All right, 11. All right. So can you have your third side be an 11? You can, because your two smaller sides have to be bigger than this. Okay. So 3. So you can't be 11, right? You can't have a third side of 11. You can't have a third side of 12. You can't even have a third side of 10, can you? Right? Because look, 3 and 7 have to be not equal to, but what? Greater than this. Okay, so it has to be less than 10 and greater than what? 4. That's right. It's got to be greater than 4. Again, let's pick one that's smaller than 4. Okay, 3 is smaller than 4. All right, so can you have a triangle with these sides, 3, 3, and 7? No, because 3 and 3 are two smaller ones, then that adds up to 6. 6 is not greater than 7. So your range of possible sides have to be between what? Between 4 and 10. Let me show you a nice, easy way to write it. Everybody watching? We'll use x for that possible third side. Is that all right? So x for the possible third side. X has to be what? Less than 10, right? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the 10 over here, and it's got to be what? Greater than 4. See what I just did? Did you guys ever write this in Algebra 1 like this? Yeah, you probably did. If you read it, it reads both ways, but it's a nice, compact way to write it. There's a word for it, and I forget it off the top of my head for how we write this. But watch. Just wait. Let me finish first, okay? And then you can ask questions. So x is less than 10. Isn't that what it's saying? All right, and it's also saying, watch, read it from right to left. X is what? Greater than 4. Do you see that? Okay, so x is less than 10, and it's also greater than 4. Okay, questions? Yes.
Will the errors always be like less than?
Yes, when you're going to put in between, look, this is the smaller one's always going to go on the left, the bigger one's going to go on the right. So if you put the smaller number on the left and the bigger number on the right, your errors will always go to the left like this, okay? So if I give you two numbers, like I said, doing the math is very, very easy. It's understanding it that is a little complicated sometimes. Would you agree with that? You really got to think about what's going on. So if I gave you two numbers like that and I say, what's the possible ranges, what's the range possibilities for your third side, you just subtract and then you add them. Okay, so it's not hard to get the answers, but understanding why you get what you get is a different story. And this is how I want you to write it. I want you to write it just like this. That's in that box right there. Everybody understand that? So if I gave you another one, I guess I could just make him anything up, but I'm just looking in the book to see if they don't give you too many examples like that. But I don't know. Let's just make one up. 17 and 20. All right. So what are your range of possibilities? If one side of your triangle is 17 and the other side is 20, what does your third side have to be? It can be between this and this. Okay. So I'm going to put x in the middle. Okay. And then I'm always going to start it off like this. All right. So what's my smaller one going to be? 3. And what's my 6? How'd you get 6? You just subtract. Okay. And then how do you get this? I heard somebody say 6. 37. And that's all. So it's easy to do. Okay, the math, the arithmetic is very simple. But understanding it makes sense. Or, I mean, it's a little harder to make sense. I mean, just think about some things. X has to be between 3 and 37. So pick any number between 3 and 37. I don't care. Pick one. 25, I heard. Okay. So watch. Take the two smaller ones. What are the two smaller ones? 17 and 20. 17 and 20 are 37, right? Is 37 bigger than 25? Yeah, so that's fine. We can have a side that's 25. Okay? Pick one that doesn't lie within these things. 2, all right? Pick a 2. Take the two smaller ones, 2 and 17, right? 2 and 17 are 19. Is that bigger than the third side? No, it's not. So you can try numbers outside this range, and that shouldn't work.
You don't have to add 20 and 17 together. Like if you did 15, you could do 17 and 15, and then they had you do 20.
Say that again?
Like, you don't have to add the 20 and the 17 together.
Right, you take the two smaller ones, right? Depending on which number you pick for your third side, right, that's not necessarily your smaller one. But if I pick something that's bigger than 37 or bigger than 20, right, then you would add these up. Right, so you just take, it doesn't matter like what order or anything like that, you just take the two smallest ones. You add them up, and it has to be bigger than the third side. Okay? Does that make sense? And so that works. So that is your range of possibilities for that. Okay, and then another problem they'll have on there is what we did earlier. I'll just do another one. Let's do this. So it's going to say, is it possible to have a triangle with these sides right here, 3, 4, and 8? No, you just, real quick, easy, right? 7 is not bigger than 8, so no, this is not a triangle. So you just say not a triangle, not a triangle. All right? So if it's not a triangle, if that 8 doesn't work, what if you had 3 and 4? What are your possibilities for 3 and 4? So x has to be between what and what? Between 1 and 7. Very good. Does it make sense? Okay. You understand this x is between thing?
Yeah.
All right, because it means x is greater than 1, it's bigger than 1, and it also means x is what? Less than 7. We good with that? Try one. This, like, how to get those numbers, or? Well, it's got to be greater. Well, it's 1 because what if 1 was actually one of your possibilities? Could you have a triangle with sides 1, 3, and 4? No, you can't. Why not? Because if I add the two smaller ones, right, it doesn't work, right? Because that means the two lines are going to be right up against each other. As soon as I start to make a triangle, what happens? They separate, they break, right? And I can't get a triangle out of it. Does that make sense? The only way that I could get them to touch is if it was actually on the line itself, but that's not a triangle. So 1's not going to work. But that's, right? That's my bottom range, right? So it's got to be bigger than 1. Like 1.5, that'll work. Why does 1.5 work? Because 3 plus 1.5 is 4.5, and the two smaller ones are bigger than the third side. So that's fine. What about 7? Why doesn't 7 work? Well, can I have a triangle with 3, 4, and 7? No, I can't, because 3 and 4 is 7. Again, I'm going to get a straight line, aren't I? All right, there's no way I can get a triangle out of that. So 7 doesn't work. But anything less than 7 and bigger than 1 is going to work. Try 8. Let's try 8. Can you have a triangle with 3, 4, and 8? Well, we already talked about it up here. Okay? Right? So 3 and 4 is 7. 7 is not bigger than 8, so that does not make a triangle. So anything bigger than 7 is not going to work. Anything less than 1 is not going to work. Anything in between is fine. And 1 and 7 don't work either, do they? Make sense? Okay. So the problems I'm going to give you are really, really simple. This is going to be one of the easiest homeworks you've had all year long. Yeah, you should be able to get that done.
I have to.
So here we go. It's page 363. 6 to 17 and 20 and 21. Not much at all. All right, there you go. You got some time here. I bet you could get this done. You could probably get this done before class is over. All right, so work on it now. Just try to get it done.
It says if not, it's like why? How do you just like say
Do like this. So 3 plus 4, right, is not greater than 8. That's a good explanation right there. Yep.